significant results-wise, but we're all trying to read what he and his staff are trying to do.
Yeah, 100%, and I think we'll have an opportunity today to gauge off of the body language of the players. You know, are they listening to, you know, the instructions that Frank Lampard's trying to give the players on, you know, before the game and whilst the game's going on as well. I think we'll get a dynamic of what type of team Frank wants it. Are they going to be high pressing, full of energy? I'm guessing that after looking at the season that he had at Derby, you know, Frank last season, and being very close to getting Derby into the Premier League, I'm guessing that will be the way that they do play, and it'd be interesting to see these players adapt again.
Yeah, more clues coming your way almost immediately, because delighted, despite the 15-minute delay, that teams are almost with us. More from Frank alongside me at half-time, but as we are pretty much there with the 3:15 kickoff, as it will be here at the MADEJSKI, high time I handed you up to our dynamic duo on the commentary gantry. Jason has made it to join Ben Andrews.
Thank you, Matt. Indeed he has, not even out of breath either. He's obviously been doing his own pre-season. Good afternoon all. It's getting closer, isn't it? Tick-tock, tick-tock. Just a couple of weeks today, Chelsea will be at Old Trafford to kick off a new Premier League campaign in style. The build-up to that continues with this pre-season game, number 5 out of 7 against Reading this afternoon. Following a couple of games in Ireland and 2 in Japan, the Blues back rather closer to home for now, at least. A short hop down the M4 for many of us finds Team Lampard at the Madstad, with our usual mix of questions and answers that you'd expect as any pre-season schedule rolls on, really. The fitness should be getting there by now, you'd imagine. And maybe we can turn our attention to some of the footballing specifics on show, Jason Candy.
Yeah, good afternoon, Benjamin. Good afternoon, everyone. Absolutely. There's a number of things myself and Matt, Frank, were just discussing what you want out of pre-season at this stage. Well, Reading are much further down the line. Their season starts in 6 days' time, and of course we have a little bit longer to prepare ourselves for. So fitness-wise, they will be a lot further down the road than us. Ability-wise, of course, there is no comparison. So it should be quite an even match today. I'm expecting this to be quite tight. But most important thing, of course, Ben, is still fitness. But still, some of these players that are starting today, I don't think will be starting against Manchester United. But you never know what happens with injuries. Frank may see something today that he likes that may cause him to make 1 or 2 changes going into the season. So every single game in pre-season is an opportunity.
Let's take a check on today's teams then, starting with the hosts. The keeper is Joao Virginia. He's a new recruit on loan from Everton. There's Tyler Blackett, who you may remember made his name at Man United. And there's John Swift, who also played for Jose Mourinho a few years ago. Yaku Mate was their top scorer last season, although it was slim pickings. Some familiar names there. Charlie Adam awaiting a debut of sorts. Sam Walker used to be at the Chelsea Academy. And there's Matt Miazga, who is on loan as a Royal for now. This is the starting Chelsea 11, arguably not as strong as the one we might see in the second half. A couple of attacking players there, though, who've really looked good in pre-season in glimpses, in Barkley and Pulisic, who we expect to play in the number 10 role and wide right, respectively. On the bench, Mason Mount, who won here last year. Takeo Tomori starting, who won here last year. Still no Willian just yet. By the way, he is back in the fold, so to speak, but he's at Cobham, not here. Olivier Giroud, you would think at the moment, in pole position for that starting place up top when the season begins. Willy Caballero is captain today. He's played most of this pre-season. Kepa's only had 1 game. Clearly Willy's been in with the group since the beginning. But Jason mentioned it there, Reading's season begins 8 days before Chelsea's. Sheffield Wednesday will be here as the championship begins. That's only 6 days away, so they should be sharp, which makes this good. They beat Peterborough, by the way, in midweek.
A decent crowd, Ben, I have to say. I didn't know what to expect, in all honesty, but it's been a decent turnout.
Ready to go at the Madstad. This and 2 more games, that's it. Man U and Liverpool to kick off the campaign in the space of a few days. Chelsea need to be, and I'm sure will be, getting fitter, sharper, and getting to know the gaffer expects of them. We'll think a 4-2-3-1, but we'll keep an eye on that as it goes through that central core today. For now, Tamori and Christensen in there, and in midfield, Bakayoko and Drinkwater.
That's nice. Reading trying to press Chelsea there, and possession was really good, and we've worked our way into a really good area.
There's Ross Barkley. I think he's been one of the brighter sparks dispossessed by John Swift, and many of you will have seen plenty of on the chart here now is Yaku Mate, dangerous ball, and Christensen well positioned.
Yeah, just when I said we'd worked it well, which we had, Ross, I think he changed his mind, got caught in two minds, and then subsequently had his pocket pinched.
Completely done by Pulisic. Looking forward to seeing him again today. Got a start, having not been back for long at all. I didn't think he looked as leggy as he would have been entitled to be, actually, Jason. I think he looked like, I mean, he's young, he's only 20, so he should be able to be fresh, but
I understand
having played
the point you're making
with the USA for quite a while.
Quite sharp, looked fresh, didn't he? He's actually, we weren't too sure whether he was going to play on the left or on the right. Kennedy is on that right, so you've got a left footer on the right footer on the left, and you know, you can cut in. We saw actually the chance that he created for himself against Barca when Tammy perhaps could have done a little bit better, cut inside, and Eden Hazard done it many times over the last 6 or 7 seasons. So that's what we've got now. So when you're defending that as the left back and the full back, you want to try and show them both on the outside to their weaker foot.
Chance to impress for a lot of these, as Jason suggested. There'll be a fair few in this starting 11 right now who almost certainly wouldn't be starting at Old Trafford, but there might even be one or two who might not even be a Chelsea player by that window closing time. So maybe there are some either-ors that Frank's thinking, you know, maybe Tamori, maybe Kennedy. And that first game in Japan, having had a shocking first 5 minutes, Kennedy then became probably the best player on the field. And coming to collect here, Tamori Bakayoko under pressure from Mate. The best pass for Zappacosta, but he got there.
Yeah, it looks like Reading are playing a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1, if you like. And just that press that we saw in the opening couple of seconds hasn't really continued. They're just sitting a little deeper, nice and compact. And Christensen's done ever so well there. I thought he was going to get robbed, but again, we keep possession.
Andreas, cool as a cucumber. We hope for similar development in Germany for Ethan Ampadu. That news that he's gone to RB Leipzig. Perfect. Could be a very similar thing to Christensen. Bakayoko got a bit lucky there with Mate nearly pinching it off him. Nice give and go. Pulisic and Barkley. And Reading captain Liam Moore steps in.
See what he's trying to do there, play off the front man. Popped it in, he lent it into him and see if he could get the return. The pass wasn't the best in all honesty, but Pulisic showing he's actually got a little bit under the bonnet, hasn't he? He's got a very quick change of pace.
Good weather, good crowd, lovely pitch. Down there earlier. Zappacosta infield to Danny Drinkwater. This is the season hold for him. That's well kept down by Pulisic, and he's got company in the form of Marcos Alonso and indeed Danny Loader, but he's given him the slip. There's Giroud being Giroud, that link man in the forward position.
That's the second time he's tried to link up. He nearly got it on that occasion. Giroud, I think, was perhaps disappointed with his pass. Risky there from the goalkeeper.
Well, it's playing out from the back. It seems to be spreading around the game, doesn't it, nowadays? No one lumps it anymore, do they? Maybe Cardiff.
Oh.
Against him, John Swift played in Chelsea's first team once upon a time. Good midfielder, John Swift. He's always going to play at a good level.
Yeah, technically very good.
Generally, score of goals, he's just dropped really deep here, Swifty, to get that. Only got 3 last term. Yaku Mate, their top scorer, only got 12, which tells you a bit. They struggled under Clem a fair bit, and then got a lot better under new management and steered clear of any relegation woes. Just is Bakayoko.
To see there, Pulisic has come, because we've won possession in an area that when we were defending in our own half, Pulisic has come right across there, and as Bakayoko gets his head up, there wasn't a lot of width. Alonso was trying to give him that, and in the end, Bakayoko has got to stay central. Just gives the possession away with the pass in, but trying to work off Giroud. Giroud is there. They're trying to get him involved in the game as often as possible.
Costa. Play on, says the referee. Mr. Robinson.
And that's that pass that happened about 5 or 6 times already in this first half, trying to get that ball into Giroud's feet. It's a been a big feature in the opening nearly 6 minutes. And Tomori just rushed his pass there, didn't he? A little bit more time than he thought.
7 Premier League starts last season only for Olivier Giroud. I think it's safe to say, fitness permitting, he's going to get a lot more than that this term. He did the damage when he could, on European duty, of course. Yeah,
you and I spoke at length. I felt he was very unlucky not to get more starts in the Premier League. There was a period where he was our number 1 striker, an informed striker.
I think that period would be from August till May. He was the best striker at the club, but he just wasn't always getting picked. Neither of the other 2 options with us anymore. With Higuain and Morata elsewhere. His competition this term. Frank Lampard having to make those choices. It's Batshuayi and Abraham. Alonso. It's another call Frank's got to make. Tough one between him and Emerson right now. Toss of a coin in many people's eyes. Here's Kennedy. Hasn't had much of a chance to get on the ball yet in these opening minutes.
Disappointing. Done really well there. Again, Giroud was part of the build-up play. But once he's got himself in that area there, the cross has got to be delivered. You've got Giroud in there.
Giroud with a little dink there. Drinkwater couldn't get enough on it for Alonso. This is Yaku Mate, just sucked into Mori there, and Loda trying to get away, but well backtracked Marcus Alonso.
Yeah, you're right. He's tried to win the ball when you don't really need to win it in that area, because he turned him way too easily.
He's been training with David Luiz.
Yeah, you can't win every single ball. Sometimes you have to accept that the ball is safe side. You're not going to be able to see it. You can't get a challenge in, and sometimes it's best to just jockey, hold your position, don't sell yourself. And there he made the opposition players mind up for him by diving in. A little bit static in front of Tomori there. I'm looking for some movement. Pulisic has come deep. Wasn't a lot on. Now Drinkwater's gone in there, and just having a look in front there. Can we have a little bit of movement? Maybe Ross can show. Maybe Drinkwater can perhaps. His head up.
That's well defended by young McIntyre. Giroud probably thought, I've got him pinned. Advantage played here, helped on by Barrow. And now Barrett far side, looking for a teammate. Yadam shifted it on for a run that hadn't been made by Danny Loda. Nearly though. Well, there you see an instance, Jason, of the stepping in at the back, and it did work. You'd think Giroud, I'll have that all day long. He'll take that in and keep it.
Yeah, it was telegraphed, wasn't it? That's the problem. As a centre half, you see when you've got playing against Giroud's not going to run you. So you can almost gamble a little bit, because you know he's not going to make that run in behind. Therefore, once that pass was made in, Bakayoko, once he got his head up, you can see what he was looking for. The defender's on his toes. He gets in front of Giroud. Maybe Giroud could have been a little bit stronger. The pass could perhaps been on the safe side, not down the middle.
Yadam. Not done a great deal of recruiting themselves, Reading, over this summer. They've got Charlie Adam on their bench. He has gone low, of course. Michael Morrison's coming, he's on the bench too, a real solid centre half. Yadam again. Eddie Barrow played against Chelsea before in the Premier League for Swansea, and that's overly physical from Alonso, and it's not much of an appeal to that assistant down there. That was a foul.
Yes, shoulder in the back, you're never going to get away with that. Right in front of the linesman as well. this represents an opportunity for Reading. Every single Chelsea player back defending this. I noticed that's Frank's style over the last 2 games. Doesn't have anyone up top in defending from wide areas.
So it's an interesting call, that. We could debate it for a long time. John Swift delivers for Reading. Header on target and off the foot of the post, I think. Willie Caballero standing there and hoping. That's the closest we've come to a goal here, and it was very close.
It's all about the delivery, Ben. It's a brilliant delivery, this. Misses everyone out into that danger area. It's a free header in the end.
Danny Loader so close.
See that Chelsea trying to pack that. Now Chelsea can keep the ball inside the penalty area, of course, because of the new law that's coming in. Chelsea work it out. Reading, I'm not quite sure what they thought they were doing there. They were standing in high press positions, but didn't seem to react to the goal kick. Bakayoko's come to feet, but draws in the Reading player, and Chelsea can work it out.
Costa.
Sorry, Ben. Just
he saw that Barkley run, didn't he? You could see that Danny spotted it actually.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. Giroud. We know Giroud's not going to go deep, but you need runners to go beyond, and it's going to be, in particular, the number 10 that Ross is playing today, or maybe the wide men can make those runs where you go across the line and dart in, the Pedro run, if you like. And we've seen him do that many times.
And if that happens consistently, whether it's Mason or Ruben when he comes back, or Ross, or like you say, Willian, Pedro, Pulisic, etc., then it doesn't matter if your centre forward isn't the 25-goal-a-season striker. Here's Alonso. Giroud is in the middle. That's beyond Kennedy and beyond almost everybody, and it's Barrett back there tidying up, and Tyler Blackett clearing. And that's worked out quite well for Yaku Meite. They got 2-on-2 here. Barrow making the run in field, and Yaku Meite tried to find him, and Tamori got a big enough piece of it.
Well played by Reading in the end. Tamori was rather optimistically putting his hand up for offside, but of course when the ball was played, it was very much onside. Ross is making, just watching Ross's runs there, that he's prowling in between the lines, and unfortunately couldn't find his feet there.
Swift under pressure from Bakayoko. There's the high press of Pulisic here. We saw it force a goal against Barcelona. Back. Yagan, neatly moved. This is Danny Loader. Look at the space they got over there. Barrett with a good first touch and a chance to feed it infield. He's gone for goal and he's found it. A little bit of luck to get it back. That's one heck of a finish. And what a moment for Josh Barrett. Only a couple of appearances last season. Very much a fringe player, but very much a wonderful goal scorer there.
Well, this all comes from when Bakayoko has gone out and tried to close the ball down, leaving Danny Drinkwater on his own inside the middle of the park, and they work it very well. Once they get out, they've got a man over. Can they make that man count? It's a brilliant pass, this. And once he gets in this area, can he get his shot away? He does. Slightly fortuitous ricochets back to him, but it's a brilliant finish nonetheless. They've got a man. They had another man overlapping there as well.
Yeah, he had options, and his teammates were about to get crossed that he hadn't picked one of them out, but he got it back, and that's a great improvised finish, to be fair. He's exactly meant that. Well done by them. Avoidable as you feel any goal is when it goes in against your side, with Chelsea behind at the Madejsky.
Yeah, I think Frank's going to be looking for a little bit more, in all honesty. It's been a little bit one-paced, the game. From our point of view, we're nearly 15 minutes in, and we haven't really seen anything of note. It's been possession-based. I know Frank wants to move the ball quickly. 1 and 2 touch. Haven't really seen that happen so far.
They look hungry. They're doing the chasing too. Press, the modern buzzword. Here is Zephyr Costa into Bakayoko. Danny Drinkwater is directing the traffic through the middle of the park there. He's just held his line as Alonso comes forward, and this is promising for Pulisic. It's just opened up there, just a fraction, into Barkley. He's done very well to keep that at his feet. Alonso, there was a tap in the middle for Pulisic, if it had got there, but it didn't. Reading captain Liam Moore in the way.
Ben, more urgency immediately. You can see that, literally from the kick-off. something had to change because it was just 2-1 pace. It was like a pre-season friendly, and I know it is, but you can't have teams like Reading, being the liveliest. Certainly, when it comes from our own players, you've got to make sure you're on full tilt.
That's worth a hit for Danny Drinkwater, even on the swing out through the crowd though. Nothing doing. One Chelsea goal came from that spot. No foul by Alonso. The referee saw it, and that will be a Chelsea ball.
The referee's allowed a few things to go here. There's another one.
Everybody in that Reading half now. Well, you often think, can we play you every week? It's in the Reading fans away to our right. We often think in a pre-season game it could take actually conceding a goal to get you going. I mean, you would hope it wouldn't, but it does happen quite a lot to teams of all varieties. That's a good ball. Drinkwater to find Kennedy. Overlapping is Zappacosta. Bakayoko gets underneath it, but again, bodies in the box, Jace. 4 in the middle for that cutback.
It's a brilliant pass from Danny Drinkwater. There's a lot of space for Kennedy on that right-hand side. As Zappacosta overlaps the run, he cuts back. Well used. It's a decent ball in. Leaning back, didn't look comfortable, did he? Leaning back when that comes in, you've got to get your body open, your knee over the ball if you're going to keep that down.
Here's the goal scorer Barrett, and he sucked in Danny Drinkwater and nipped it past him. That was very neatly done. Bakayoko does well to come in and help his midfield mate out with that interception.
You don't really want your defender midfielder dragged out to those areas, and the opening goal, you saw that they were split, pair of them, too far apart. And another occasion there, this time Bakayoko helps him out.
John Swift delivered well a moment ago from this side. In swinger this time. Mate jumping. Who's the final touch? I don't think it was his. No, the corner has been given.
Another good delivery, Ben. This is the whip delivery. A lot of players try. Miss out that first man, but still whip it in. It's an excellent delivery. And in the end, I couldn't see who that came off.
Did Andreas get the touch? Yes, I think he did. I mean, it was Andreas there. I was just wondering whether Happy Mate had caught the fast one, but it doesn't look like he did. Swift will have another go. 2 out of 2 good ones from the Chelsea Academy boy. And indeed, first teamer. And it's another good corner. This one deeper, and it's Mate again with a freer header this time. And Chelsea, well, it could be worse.
Well, set pieces that we've had to defend against have been brilliant deliveries, but it's been a Reading head on it every single time. Certainly the first one. Bakayoko there is all over the place, can't see him, he's not up against anyone at all.
There's the skipper. He's had a bit of work to do and watched quite a lot of attacking coming his way, Willie Caballero. Got just the 9 games all in last season, but I say that's not bad for a number 2 keeper every now and then. We did once see a number 3 keeper play on this ground by the name of John Terry once upon a time.
I was here that day.
October 2006. Czech, then Cudicini injured. Terry finished the game in goal. Frank Lampard, after that, told the Petter pre-match, he said he had been back once since, and Frank Lampard was the star of that game, and the bright yellow kit from there.
Still want to see a little bit more urgency, Ben. It's sideways and backwards passing.
Well, it's interesting that quite literally on paper, as you look down at that team sheet now, Chelsea's first team, if you like, is more waiting on the bench for the second half than it is. I mean, of this 11 right now, it's not going to be Drinkwater and Bakayoko in central midfield, for instance. It's almost certainly not going to be Zappacosta. It's not going to be Kennedy, realistically. So, there is that to consider. And everybody needs the miles in the legs. Everyone needs to have a chase, and this is good. This is much better than just beating someone 4-0.
Absolutely. Of course, we are very much aware of pre-season's games and what the main objectives are. I think Frank will be looking for a little bit more, if I'm honest.
Yeah, slicker. a bit quicker, moving the ball fast is his thing. There's a long ball from Andreas, who apologises to Mr. Pulisic. There's Loader. Could have scored before Barrett on the other side did. Bakayoko turning to buy himself some time and space. Barkley coming short. Noticed him offering himself a lot this pre-season, Ross Barkley. Wherever that is, left, right, up the middle, deep, whatever. I find him...
His role, he much prefers the role he's got this season, doesn't he?
The push in there on Olivier Giroud. Liam Moore not impressed with the decision. This, well, within range, certainly, and bang centre, so you could be left, right. We could be talking Alonso, Giroud, Barkley.
Not convinced that's a free kick, by the way, either. I think he's been slightly generous there, if I'm honest.
We'll take it.
Nonetheless, we'll take it, absolutely. Well, you've got a number of choices here. Because it's central, it's difficult to see who this is best for. It's a nice distance, however.
Alonso is due one, having wowed us all 2 seasons ago. He didn't actually put one in last time. He hit the woodwork a few times, doesn't he always? But yes, it's going to be the right boot of Barkley, the left of Alonso, and you would fancy both to maybe test Joao Virginia. He's had nothing to do yet. Let's see. It's Barkley, and it's brilliant! Wonderful equaliser from Ross Barkley, who showed us a glimpse of that in Europe at the back end of last season. That was beautiful.
Absolutely, Ben. Lovely free kick, beautifully executed. The goalkeeper's like, I was watching the goalkeeper line up his wall. He said, so when it's central, it's always interesting which way the goalkeeper's going to line the wall up, because it's almost like you can't make there's no right or wrong decision. But he decided to go stand on the left and stand on the right, and the wall on the left you can see there. But what a free kick! What? He's not stopping that, mate.
That's in the side net.
There's nothing he can do about that.
Even if he's in the middle of the goal.
Nothing he can do about that.
You presume he's given himself the more work to do on the right. Maybe he's right-handed, and therefore you'll do that. You think, as you say, you go wall left, me right, I'll cover that. No, I won't. But he's touched the ball now, Joao Virginia with his gloves, but only to pick the ball out the back of his net. All square at the Madstad, but here they come again, Reading. Flag up.
Yeah, I just hope now that we can perhaps just have a little bit more zip about our game. Reading, as we've already highlighted, Ben, before, that they are further down the line in pre-season, and therefore fitness levels, doesn't matter how much quality you've got, that doesn't matter. The fitness levels I think, to be honest, I think you can see it as well.
There's Tamori, a winner here last season with Mason Mount, Derby County. Coaching staff. Tamori played 55 times for Derby County last season. Their player of the year. It's not just a little taste of the championship he's had there, he's played pretty much every game. Good cut runs as well. There's Kennedy into Giroud. Kennedy can leave it, but Zappacosta just on his heels. Well done, Kennedy, to get a toe in. Chelsea have it back. Barrett's got a knock here. Half-hearted chase for him. He may be injured, the Reading goal scorer here. We'll keep a check on that in a minute. Barkley keeps it moving. Here's Alonso. Into Pulisic, and back again, and Danny Loader had to be careful with that challenge. Good judge on the bounce there from Andreas Christensen.
Yeah, well done. They're very easy to miss, those ones, and especially when the ball comes from nowhere. You know, there was just a clearance and he's on his toes as well.
So easily off the top of the head and up in the air, that one. Not that you'd have ever done that, I'm sure, but get underneath it. Zappacosta. Drink water. Maybe Pulisic course, he had him into a decision he'd rather not make, and he has forced that error. That error returned in kind, and then again. Delicate from Bakayoko. Pulisic into Kennedy. Shame about the layoff.
Well done. It's always difficult when you're playing against a two up top defensively. That any one clearance, you should be in an area where one of the centre forwards are. As that ball is played wide out on their left, our right, Christensen is alive to it, reads the situation very well.
That was a doozy of a free kick from Barkley, who's just, I know it's a dead ball, it doesn't reflect necessarily how he's playing, but you feel there's a positivity and a buzz about him in the games we have seen him play in pre-season.
Agreed.
He looks far more like the exciting Everton player that we all thought he's going to be good and be playing for England one day.
It's a good build-up there from Reading.
Nicely moved, and Swift has joined Mate in the middle. It's going to fall here for Loda. This is worth a hit, and he has battered it. I think Caballero probably had it covered.
I think Tomori will be disappointed with his clearance. He hasn't got enough on it. You always say go, wide, but you want to get some contact on it as well, and he doesn't really connect at all. It almost misses it, and as you said there, Loda picks it up as a good first touch. Will be disappointed, I'm sure, that he hasn't really made the goalkeeper work, but again, promising attack from Reading. They've shown that they've got a little bit of quality about us. Nice from Kennedy, brilliant.
And that's the spin we were saying earlier. Giroud can't do that one and run a defender. Kennedy
that's excellent down the right hand side.
Look at Zappacosta, he's made up a ton of ground. There are 3 yellow shirts in the middle, and he's picked out Rinomota.
Disappointing that, because it was very well worked.
Mate's onside here.
He's recovered ever so well. He wants to be careful.
Well done.
He's done ever so well there. Putting your hand up for offside when you're on the halfway line, it's perhaps got to go with your runner there. He's looked for it, but he's recovered ever so well. Using that strength again, and buys that free kick, doesn't he? Forces the challenge in. It's an injury problem for Reading at the moment.
There's Tyler Blackett back there. Yaku Mate making a nuisance of himself up front there. Scored against Joe Edwards under-19s a couple of years ago. A little more than that, actually. Played for Paris Saint-Germain, Yaku Mate, in the UEFA Youth League final. And Tyler Blackett, though, is the player down here, the former Man United Academy boy.
With a week until the season starts, this is a bit of a concern.
It's given Frank Lampard a chance to have a chat here. He's talking to Christian Pulisic and Kennedy in particular. See, actually, Kennedy's talking to him. It's worth having another look at the goal. Oh, it's a beauty. Look at that.
And there's nothing you can do. What can you say as a manager there? Defence run it. He's got some height over it. It's a lovely distance, that free kick. It's the sort of area. If it's another 5 yards in or 3 yards in, you can't quite get up and over. 5 yards back, and it's a bit. This distance has become an issue, but there's nothing you can do about that.
No, if you're a manager and you're told you're going to concede a goal today, that would be the one you'd want to concede, because there's no individual or group error apart from giving the foul away in the first place. The power on it was quite impressive, because normally if someone hits a curler from there, it might be slightly more floaty as a curler, but that was sort of quite a powerful curler, wasn't it?
You got everything right.
Beautifully clean hit. Fans have enjoyed that, coaching staff too. And they are making the change here. Tyler Blackett is coming off, and Omar Richards is his replacement. Here he comes, belatedly. be a concern for Jose Gomez and for Tyler Blackett. Sheffield Wednesday here 6 days from now as the championship kicks off. Meanwhile, they're down to 10 as Chelsea attack with Alonso.
Bit casual there from Alonso. Got to do that. That's got to be better than that.
Good hold up from Mayte. Got it back to Danny Loader. Mo Barrow on the chase will keep this in, and this could give Zappacosta a problem. He's quick, he's Barrow. He's played the pass to Swift. Bakayoko followed him all the way.
That's come from just Alonso just being a little bit sloppy with his pass, and sets them up on an attack. And they're pretty good actually at moving that ball quickly, Reading. I've been quite impressed with the way they move the ball through the middle of the park.
Omar Richards is on the field, number 27 at the edge of the box now doing some defending. The closest defender to Kennedy. And there is the substitute. Swift keeps Reading moving. Barrett gives Chelsea the ball back.
Danny Drinkwater's pinged that ball out to that right hand side 5 or 6 times now. I'm not quite sure what that was all about, if I'm honest. Good battle between those two, isn't it? They've come up against one another numerous times already in this opening 32 minutes. Nice physical battle between the two. It's the press. We were talking about what would Giroud do it, and you see there Ross Barkley and Giroud were high up the pitch, closing down. Win the ball back in the final third.
Bakayoko. Things happen again, Ross Barkley. And the slice. There'll be a Chelsea corner via Yadam.
Yeah, very tight and come back there, Reading. There's not a lot of space in which to try and find an angle or a pass. In the end, the ball was the right thing to do, put the ball in. Slightly hurried clearance, which leads to the corner.
Zappacosta is in the Azpilicueta role as last man back. Everyone else is an attacking option. Giroud got a piece of it. Christensen too. Away by Yakin Mayte. Look at Barrow on the chase there. That was lightning, and Zappacosta got a little bit lucky. That
yes, he did.
Last man back there.
Yes, he did. It's nice from Ross.
Playing with a real confidence, Barkley, wanting the ball, getting the ball. I know he's given that one away right.
No, he's been
but
impressive
you know what I mean?
Pre-season, Ben. He has, and you know, of course, we're thinking about the 11th going to Manchester United. Mason Mount has started the last 2 games on the tour,
and we have seen them both start in a diamond midfield in one game as well. It looked pretty good then as well. That's certainly an option that Frank used with Derby, and may well use here. Different personnel, obviously, mostly. But right now, if you're saying who stood out in pre-season, I think the first name that would spring to my mind would be Ross Barkley.
He looks sharp, Ben. He's making things happen.
Constantly wants the ball. He's coming short. Saying, give it here, I'll take it. Which that hasn't always been the case. Hasn't always been able to be the case, frankly. Pulisic back to Danny Drinkwater. He's seen a fair bit of it. Demanded it this game too. Alonso rolls his man. Loader sucked into that one. And another free kick in dangerous territory.
Yeah, he does well, Alonso. He knows he's going to get a whack here as well. As soon as he turns, he knows he's going to win the ball, and he's just waiting for the kick.
That's, dare I say his name, Eden Hazard. I know it's coming. I'm going to take the turn, take the hit, win the free kick.
Oh, Ross is on this again.
Shoot?
Well,
or at least far post.
It's not, yeah.
Far post curl?
Yeah, that one where you where you're looking to hit an area and bend it towards that far post, and maybe if someone can get on the end of it.
Well, they're all queued up over there. Tomori, Bakayoko, Giroud, Alonso.
You want to try and get in front of your defender. Can you get in front? If you do, the delivery's good enough. Can you get a little flick? Is he going to go near post on this one? Is he going to have a...
Oh, round the back. It is a free header, and there was no flag. What a chance for Olivier Giroud, who would back himself, and so would we, with that box of his.
I just thought 2-1, Ben. I don't get what Reading were doing here. Really bizarre defending. Oh dear, he's got a lot of time, sees that coming a long way, doesn't he? He tries to put the power on it, and doing so totally misjudges it. It's not a free kick, referee. Come on.
Such an accurate header of the ball, Olivier Giroud, as Christensen is penalised for that on Mo Barrow.
That's a free kick then.
Don't.
So I'll have to see it again, but here's the header. It's dreadful marking. A man of Giroud's quality not to hit the target is rather puzzling. Anyway, the high press again. This time it's Ross that breaks out. We saw Mason did do that against Barca. Chelsea one possession.
Good reading of the game from Zappacosta there. Little casual but accurate layoff from Olivier Giroud. Alonso is high and wide. Zappacosta and Kennedy, the options on the other side. There's a lot forward for Chelsea here. It's a 2-3-5 right now. Clever header. Kennedy with Barrett for company. 8 minutes or so to half-time. And it's been a good game to watch this. Chances at both ends. Chelsea a little bit ragged for a while, better thereafter.
Yeah, a little... It took a bit of a while to get ourselves going, didn't it?
Two very fine finishes, it has to be said. Here's Tomori. Nicely done. See you later. Ekumete for now. Bakayoko. That's not good enough.
The idea's right. The execution wasn't. It's not a difficult pass, that one. Disappointed he's not found the target. No one really in support there of him. He's had to go back to Alonso. Seen flashes, haven't we, of Pulisic in this first half?
Giroud down the channel, beaten to it by Joao Virginia.
There's the press.
Confidently knocked across there to McIntyre, but most will play out from the back nowadays. Swift to Barrow. Barrow is swift, if you know what I mean. And Andreas Christensen knew what he was doing.
Just watching Ross there on that press there, Ben. It's a lot of chasing he's put in there. He's ran pretty much from their left-hand side, our attacking left-hand side, right away across the edge of the box, and then ran 60 yards back into her own half, and it's quite tiring. That press can be quite demanding. Sometimes you've got to pick and choose when you go. Not every time is right. Just on that occasion there, maybe Ross could perhaps have just saved a little bit of energy there, Ben, chasing shadows. But I suppose in pre-season you can argue that it's not going to do him any harm.
When he's like this and he's bouncing, the real good of Ross Barkley comes to the fore there, and you feel like he's that guy who wants it. I'm immediately put in mind a bit Gaza, a bit Joe Cole. Do you know what I mean? That lad who just really, just give me the ball, I want to do stuff with it. That kind of, it reminds me of both of them at times. It's no bad thing, I suppose,
no.
If he's going to be as good as them. Both of them would sometimes, just out of sheer eagerness, run from one side of the pitch to the other and back again, just because they're trying to do the right thing or get the ball. But yeah, you can knacker yourself out. Kennedy tries the little flip-flop thing. It's got a name. What is it? Is it? Oh, right, good. That one's worked out as well. To Barkley, back to Kennedy. I'm expecting that to go in. on his left boot. He's sure it took a nick on the way through, which might explain why it was off target. And indeed, there he has.
Ross
Yes, he has given the corner.
Ross has done ever so well there.
Clever, isn't it?
Lovely little. And you think there on your left foot, he's going to hit the target.
And it did take a touch. You just saw the little nick. Whether or not it diverted it from its course, in that sense, we probably never know. You're expecting that in the back of the net, just as you were the Giroud header. But again, lovely from Barkley, just making things happen. Put the brakes on. Clever little pass. It's Loader's header. And then Danny Drinkwater having a crack at a Tony Yeboah kind of effort. Did half volley one of them in for his one Chelsea goal so far against Stoke. Just about there on the field. That's just lovely. Barkley is loving this game, isn't it? You know he's really enjoying himself.
He's playing himself into the starting 11 for me against Man United.
Yeah. Right now, he's one of the first names on the team sheet for me.
He's done a right, Drinkwater, actually. He's kept the tempo of the game ticking over quite nicely.
Kennedy goes for goal again and finds it this time. 2-1. Joao Virginia not expecting that. Probably should have done better than having nearly scored a moment ago. Kennedy has put Chelsea in front.
Well, you don't buy a raffle ticket, you can't win the raffle, Ben. And this is a perfect example of that. I didn't think the shot was on, to be honest with you. I thought he'd get closed down. Well, I need to see this from the angle. Well, I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing. It does take a little bit of a swerve, doesn't it? I don't know.
Just took a nick off Richards
as well.
I think that took a nick off the sub Richards, and that has done for Virginia there. You're right, that he'll still feel he should get more of a hand on it, but good hit from a player we know can really spank it with that left boot of his. He's had some bright moments this pre-season, Kennedy. We were mentioning him earlier.
Yes, he always seems to, though, Ben, in pre-season.
Like Victor Moses.
Always, you know.
Victor Moses was always brilliant in pre-season.
I just wonder whether he may be interested to see what Frank does with him because of the injury to Callum. You know, we have Pulisic, we have Pedro, we've got Willian. I'm not missing anyone out that way, but we don't have. That's it. If you're going to play a 4-2-3-1, you need options. I just wonder whether he may well find himself in Chelsea's squad.
Yes, if you're talking about genuine wide attacking options, the ones you mentioned are those. Obviously Callum out of the picture at the moment. Likewise Ruben, who has and could play in those, so he's an either-or option maybe. Unless someone like a Zappacosta plays further up, you might well say I want 4 players for those more than likely 2 positions. If he's going to be playing a diamond lots, which we don't necessarily think he's going to, but if he was, then you wouldn't necessarily need 4 winger types. But a couple of minutes to half-time here, and just as in the game I was talking about earlier when Petr came back to Reading for the first time, Reading were in front that day too. Chelsea got it back to win 2-1. That's what's happening here. I agree on Drinkwater, by the way. I think he's been that good fulcrum point in midfield to keep things moving. He's involved there. Barkley's just lost out. Mate. There is Drinkwater to get that tackle in.
Chelsea goal was that just killed the atmosphere slightly, hasn't it?
Yeah, they were singing "Can We Play You Every Week" earlier. They're not singing that now. Pulisic wanted to get his shot away. Loader got a block in. Kennedy almost fell for another left foot wallop there.
Oh, that's nice from Reading. Well played. Danny Drinkwater there was Zappacosta as I've ever seen get himself back. Gives the free kick away. But it was nice. There's been 1 or 2 passages of play which have impressed me with Reading today.
They're quick, they've got time to nick another before the break. Nice, excellent bit of play there from Yadam, who backed himself, and with just cause as John Swift tickles a shot on target at Willy Caballero. Fair play to Yadam, the right back there. That manoeuvre, people try it, it often doesn't work out. Well, that was a good half to watch, actually. It's a pretty slow start from Chelsea. Reading looked like they were going to score, and they did. Ross Barkley's equaliser was an absolute beauty. He's played really well. Kennedy made it 2-1. All after that clever, improvised Barrett opener. It's an enjoyable 45 minutes with the promise of many changes and more good footy to come after the break. At the mad stat at the interval, it's Reading 1, Chelsea 2. Plenty for Frank and Matt and Jason to dissect at half-time. But before they get stuck into that, just a reminder with this pre-season outing here that it's game 5 of 7 for Team Lampard. And there are 2 more games coming up for you to enjoy on the 5th stand this summer in Austria and in Germany, and we hope to see some more of this kind of thing.
Hello, my friends. How are you?
This opportunity from Chelsea was the best option, and I'm happy to be back.
Try
Yeah.
with Mason Mount, so it's a very attacking looking shape.
Yeah.
Pedro also obviously in the mix. We'll work it out. In fact, better than that, we'll let Jason and
Let
Ben
Jason do it.
work it out. Good luck, boys.
Yeah, thanks for that. So we've got 22 half-time change. No, what's the maths here? 20 half-time changes here for this second half. Never mind personnel, can't even work out the numbers. Completely different team for Reading, bar this man on the ball, Omar Richards, who came in the first half. The most amazing sight of Willie Caballero being the only bloke to come out of the tunnel for Chelsea, because everyone else was out here warming up. He was on his own. Willie within an entirely different 10 in front of him, so the likes of Barkley and Kennedy can sit down having done their job. So Azpilicueta, Zuma, Luis and Emerson there, Jorginho and Kovacic in midfield, Pedro, Mount, Abraham, Batshuayi, and that will be the interesting thing to see, Jason. Never mind about the Reading changes. In terms of those Chelsea changes, there are two nominally, at least, centre forwards on the field. Is it a diamond behind them?
Well, I'm trying to see that now. It looks like Pedro's at the top of the. If they're Kovacic on
the left, it looked like, you're right, and Jorginho at the back of it, and Mason Mount and Kovacic in that midfield diamond. Interesting. Trying to find those two strikers now is Cesar Azpilicueta, and his first touch is a good cross, by the way.
It's nice. It's a good challenge that from Kurt Zuma. That's going to be. There's a number of. Of course, there are a number of problems that Frank needs to solve. That's a little bit too easy. Pedro had been pushed off the ball there. But the partner to David Luiz, I think we have to expect that David's going to start the season, and therefore it's going to be him and another.
Right now, there is probably Andreas, I would think. Well, or is that up for grabs, do you think, in these 3 games?
It might be up for grabs. This is a much stronger team than we saw in the first half. I wonder how close to the first start against Man United this potentially is. It is a diamond. Pedro is at the top, as you said.
How about that for a back pass from Charlie Adam, wearing that familiar number 26. He has just leathered that back at Sam Walker. Nice to see him again. The Chelsea youth team keeper of the past. Wholesale changes for them too. Matt Miazga's on the field, more of him shortly. He's in the middle of that Reading defence. That ball's gone over him and just over Tammy Abraham as well.
Yeah, I don't think Tammy could have got it. In the end, he opted not to have a go at it, but nice idea, nice run.
Zuma across to cover. It's going to be a Reading ball. That nippy front 3 of theirs. Well, we'll see what happens in the second half, but they gave that Chelsea defence some problems in the first half. Barrow quick, Mate quick and strong, Loader as well, and Barrett up there with them. Richards with the throw. I think he did get a toe end, on that Kennedy shot. It's just the way the ball moved in an odd way.
Frank and I were discussing that downstairs. It was difficult. It definitely moved.
It moved in an odd way that doesn't suggest just air to me. That was a lovely little touch. But what a dribble and what a goal it would have been as Willie Caballero makes a big save to deny Michael Olise. And the Reading attack isn't over yet. David Luiz puts it out. Reading corner. How about that for fancy footwork?
Brilliant skill. Really lovely balance as well. Only thing he didn't have was the finish, but it was, from Chelsea's point of view, Ben, a bit too easy. He turns here, turns David, and then he cuts inside Kurt Zuma. Good goalkeeping. I know it hits him, but he stays on his feet. Caballero.
He actually, the toughest stuff, he did really well. The shot actually was probably the easiest part of it. Probably got excited. In comes the corner. It's a tap-in. And the easiest of tap-ins. Mark Morrison, new signing. Not far off his first touch of the ball for Reading. And Charlie Adam, of course, on delivery. All square again at the MADEJSKI. 2-2. Too easy.
Frank's not going to be happy with this, Ben. To volley the ball. Look, he goes to the far post. Who's marking him? No one. No one is the answer. Is it Tammy? Don't know. You can't be having that ball, volleying the ball in the 6-yard box. I have to say, their delivery today has been very good. Still can't quite work out who's marking him on that. The delivery from wide areas has been troublesome for us. But if you do that, if you allow a player at the far post when you're playing Man United, you will get punished in exactly the same way.
Mount battling away, and he does win Chelsea the throw. Michael Morrison, by the way. Forget your return of the Matt gags. Mark Morrison did not score that goal, although that is how they have printed him on the team sheet. Michael Morrison's been around the block. He's just joined Reading. I'm sure people have seen plenty of him up and down the divisions over the years. He's played more than 500 games in the Football League. But it was the good work from young Olise there that set it up.
Yeah, well, they've started brightly as they did in the first half. Anyway, this is a chance for us to reply again. Mount's deliveries have been excellent in this pre-season.
Good delivery from him into Michy Batshuayi. Just landed at his feet there. Cleared only as far as Kovacic. We've seen Mason, when he's been on the field this pre-season, Mason has been on set-piece duty the majority of the time. Now, I know Willian hasn't been around. Interesting to see if he's in the side, if he does get that responsibility. If he does get in the side, it's given away cheaply. Azpilicueta puts his hand up in apology as Charlie Adam picks up the ball.
I think from what I could see there that Azpilicueta, because you've got two up top, you're looking for one of your centre forwards to show to feet. I think he's just played it blind.
And that is off the woodwork. A good bad one.
So it was.
Willie Caballero massively relieved. We'll get another look at that in a minute, but that cross went all the way and just kissed the crossbar. As Morrison, the goal scorer, comes across, and his header only falls via a deflection towards Mason Mount, who's on his own for a while till Emerson comes to help. He sold him a bit short with that pass.
Yes, he did. He's done well there, Mason. Just his pass let him down.
Richards did enough. This is Jordan Holsgrove. I wondered, with their own season a week away, whether Reading would make a whole host of changes at half-time. Do you know what I mean? If you're at the point, sort of peaking like they kind of ought to be 6 days away from the start of the Championship season, whether you might leave your main men out there for longer than that.
Yeah, maybe
you might want them to have more than 45 in the legs. I mean, that first half team was far more their main team, not entirely. They had a couple of youngsters in it that might not necessarily start against Wednesday here on Saturday, but yeah, in theory Chelsea's second half team is stronger and Reading's first half team was stronger, but it hasn't worked out that way from the off. David Luiz looking for Pedro, as he so often does, and he very often finds him. That one nearly didn't. Pedro right now is applauding David Luiz for the intent.
It's a brilliant effort from David. We've seen Pedro make that run more often from out to in, but he's a bit more central today. Nearly finds his target. Mason Mount is joined by Pedro to go and take this set piece.
Pedro just dropping off now. 5 to hit. Timing their runs in the box for this Mount corner. Up and off. It was Sam Baldock in there with the clearance. David Luiz! Oh, that's brilliant! Well, the crossbar's been touched at both ends. The flag's up, by the way, against Michy Batshuayi, so that rebound wouldn't have counted anyway. But backing himself on his wrong foot, and boom.
Lovely piece of skill. Brilliant first touch. He spins on his weaker left foot. The game just, the pitch just opens up for him there. It's a lovely effort. Keeper's beating all ends up.
A pull out of the sky there. Just lovely. That was like Mata or Fabregas or something. It's beautiful from David Luiz, who had the crossbar kissed at one end and roundly smacked at the other.
They're trying to, Chelsea are just setting a trap here, aren't they? And they're deciding not to go short.
Oh, Kovacic.
Yeah, that's disappointing again. Michy's made the run. Just a couple of passes haven't quite reached their intended target so far in the second half.
Holsgrove. the right idea with the ball, that.
See exactly what he's looking for.
Good pace about this second half. Here comes Emerson. Pedro's at the top of the diamond. It'll be interesting to see how often he drops deep like he did a moment ago. I suppose you don't really want him doing that very much if he is playing that role. It's a pretty fluid diamond if it is. Maybe a rhombus for those of you of a mathematical geometric bent. There's Kovacic slides one down. Azpilicueta's not going to get to that. And MADEJSKI, hello again, with the defending there.
Haven't seen anything of Mishi or Tammy in this two at the top at the moment, have we, second half? We're going to see if we can get them involved in the game. It's not really happened for us so far.
More skills from Olise.
He's had a very entertaining start to the second half.
MADEJSKI got a few goes in the Chelsea first team in that funny end of campaign under Gus Hiddink, when we saw some curious things going on. Yes, Jay Clark-Salter got a game as well, and remember Pato? He played and scored in amongst all that. MADEJSKI got a few games. He's been in Holland, France, on loan as well as closer to home. Kovacic. There's the better of Richards. Well done, Kovacic, and well done Azpilicueta as well. Now a chance maybe for those forwards to link up. Tammy Abraham looking for Batshuayi, or was he looking for the run of Mason Mount? He was! Mason Mount picks out the corner, and Chelsea are back in front. And listen to the roar. Chelsea fans want to see this boy do well, absolutely. And he is.
Well, that goal was created from the academy. I'm not sure Tammy meant this, if I'm honest. I think he's looking for Mishi. He plays the ball in. In the end, he latches onto a mistake, rifles it home. Goalkeeper may feel perhaps he could have done a little bit better there, Sam Walker. He gets both hands to it. It's well struck, though, from really close in. Maybe I'm doing the keeper a bit of a disservice, I don't know.
I mean, he hit it hard, you're right, but it is exactly made in the Chelsea
academy. I think he's trying to find Mishi here. I think that's what he's looking for.
Oh, he is.
But Mason is quick to that, isn't he? Made his mind up very early. Another goal in pre-season for him.
Even the goalkeeper, Chelsea Academy, Sam Walker. 3-2. What a game. We've still got half an hour to go. This is how it should be. We might even eclipse that Madrid derby. I'm sure some of you saw parts of the other night. 7-3. Atletico beat Real. And Mr. Costa, classic.
First half hat-trick.
First half hat-trick, 4 goals, red card for a bust-up. Brilliant.
That's what worked. Brilliant from Jorginho, and the movement there from Mason Mount finds Mishi. This is encouraging for Chelsea.
Abraham with the run just took the defenders away for a moment, and Mishi was trying to find him then. This is, you know what, I like the fact they're trying to look for each other, because in the St. Pat's game, which was the other half where we've seen those two up top together, Jason, they really didn't look for each other at any point, and I wonder if that point has been made to them. Do the right thing for your team, don't think about yourself. That's twice the two forwards have looked for their counterpart rather than head down and go for goal. Zuma on the stretch. Azpilicueta also on the stretch. Reading just dropping off. Frank wanting that ball moved quickly, but that's a very long pass. Well, we're hoping to be the 13th Chelsea boss to win major silverware. 8 have done so in year 1, by the way, which is pretty remarkable. And those Blues fans there, well, there wouldn't be a more popular boss to win silverware amongst them, would there, than him? Oh, given away, it's a gift. Batshuayi, and tapped in by Mason Mount. He's got 2, Chelsea have 4. Thank you very much, Reading.
Well, that's an absolute gift. Mishi's alive, so's Mason. And the goalkeeper has paid the ultimate price. That's what playing out from the back is a risky business. He shakes his head. It's not a good pass at all, is it? Just wonder whether Mason was offside there at all, but I think that closing down. It's good work from Mason.
think it's just played on by Matt Miazga. That really is, again, another entirely Chelsea goal. Yep,
yes, it's just onside, yeah. Yes.
Walker, Miazga, Mount. It's the Chelsea Academy show here. Or at least the former loan window show. Now, we've got two hungry forwards amongst others here, and Mason Mount on a hat-trick. Abraham back to the two-time goal scorer. That's not bad. 2 and 15 minutes off the bench. Ross Barkley, Mason Mount, arguably one position in the side, not necessarily. Beautifully moved. Chelsea looking good here. Trying to move through the gears as Emerson wins a corner.
Yeah, really well worked. Frank will be very happy with the way that we've responded since that equaliser, 2-2.
Goals in the first half, 3 in the second already. Cross it to Louise, and it was nearly another, and probably should have been another.
Brilliant ball in again, Ben. It's all about the ball in. Emerson this time floats one in. See if David makes that run from deep. He's a bit disappointed, isn't he, David? He's much better than that.
Clear run on it, not a challenge, just, I mean, pretty much anything on target there. Poor Sam Walker there's probably thinking, oh no, there's another goal here. Well, to be fair, clearly an out-and-out mistake from him there. Joao Virginia, the loanee from Everton in the first half, I think particularly covered himself in glory there, and he might have an issue. In that regard, Sam might still get a game. You see it again, David Luiz, Charlie Adam, that's not going to be a contest in the end, not a legal one anyway. No hair versus lots of it. Up to Novakovic.
They're just slightly over-ambitious to try and win the ball there.
Chelsea fans in the sun. There's nobody's name they like cheering more than his. But over the top of them, the tannoy just announces the latest Chelsea change that Mr. Lampard is making, and it comes in goal. We're going to see Jamie coming for half an hour here. Kepa not involved. And so now every Chelsea player is different from the 11 which started. Likewise Reading, we've still got half an hour to play here, anything could happen. Chelsea Academy goalkeepers at either end of the field. Corner's gone quick to Elise. Good ball in as well. Chance! And again, could have easily been another goal. It's Andrija Novakovic this time. And as he swivels and hits that, you think it's in.
Should score, Ben. It's a nice ball in, but we don't really defend it particularly well. David misses it. Aspie problems around his feet as well, but
wasn't joking about that 7-3, by the way. You think the Kennedy chance, the Giroud chance, David Luiz, Novakovic there, we could have easily had 10 goals here. Chances you'd expect pro players to be hitting the net with 9 times out of 10. It's been open. I'm not sure how pleasing that'll be to either coach Jose Gomez or Frank Lampard, frankly, but there you go.
It's a bit of a clumsy challenge, this one, though.
Well, no, for Charlie Adam.
Yeah,
there's a shot.
He's trampled all down the back of Kovacic's calf. He's got that in the bag, hasn't he?
Well, especially if your name's Gareth Bale.
That's nice. That's well played. And didn't quite work out in the end, but you talk about patterns of play and trying to build. That's a lovely ball in. You can see Mishy's there. He's come to feet. It's a nice crisp passing from Kurt.
Better ball out from the back from young Walker. I say young, not that young anymore. Miazga into Adam, who's definitely not young anymore. And good pressure from Jorginho. Pressure by Pedro and Charlie Adam. He can still pass though. Ollie's out to Teddy Howe, but well, that was the intention anyway.
The right young kid, isn't he?
Pedro to Kovacic. That's nice link play between the two forwards, and there's space wide right for Azpilicueta here. 4-away man. Headed clear. Jorginho was never going to shoot from there. Many a player would have done. Not the most helpful pass from Kovacic.
No, it wasn't, was it? He didn't see that Richards was standing. Nice link-up play though we saw from Mishi and him, Tammy. Once that ball's come into Batshuayi, Tammy's made the run around the front of him.
Michael Olise, by the way, the fleet-footed number 21, was way back in his youth. Had a little dalliance with Chelsea. Ended up coming through a Reading system. So only 17. Jeremy Cumming.
See what he was thinking.
Oh, Kurt Zuma's was even more risky into Jorginho.
You can overdo it sometimes. I know that Frank wants us to do that. It's about making decisions and making the right choices. We work it well here though, and there's space out on the left-hand side.
Well done, Kovacic, for introducing calm back there. He teed up this counter, really. Emerson. Mount. Pulls it back for Pedro. Awkward bounce. Big challenge coming in from Adam, and Pedro still got the shot away.
Lovely close skill. Lovely run from Mason Mount. He links up with Emerson on that left-hand side. He doesn't drill it across the face. He picks out Pedro. Does well, actually, to create himself an opening for the shot. Just pulls it back. Good first touch. Just gets himself a yard of space.
Beautiful.
In the end, he couldn't get enough power on it because of where the ball was.
Teddy Howe. Second half right back for Reading here into Ollies. Howe again. Quarter of the game left. It's been a really good watch. Defending hasn't always been of the best at either end. David Luiz is going to have to do some here. Jamie Cumming has had some work to do here. That may well have been coming just wide of this near post, but he could never have known that. Novakovic with the shot. Actually, it was Holsgrove, excuse me, with the shot. Jordan Holsgrove.
Yeah, finds himself there on the edge of Chelsea's box. Pulls the trigger. I think you're right. I think it was going wide, but no mistakes. No chances taken.
Holsgrove takes the corner that he earned, and it flicks off Teddy Howe's head. Defending set plays will definitely be something Frank's going to take from this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Chelsea
as if they weren't good enough.
No.
Here's Pedro. Batshuayi, and look at Tammy Abraham absolutely busting it up to get up there, but Charlie Adam has tracked back and knew where to be, and he's played a good pass as well.
Yeah, I think Tammy will be disappointed that Pedro's not done better there, because he's ran, you know, the length of the pitch to get himself up there, and Charlie Adam don't well play to stay with him. Yeah, I take your point, Ben, about the set pieces. We've not been... There's room for improvement, I think that's fair to say.
And they must have got the first head on one 5 times, probably in the game. That would be a concern. We're going to see another Reading change here. Teddy Howe is coming off. Cheno Watson going to be his replacement. Half a half each. There's Cheno Watson. Lost on the opening day here, did Reading last season to Frank Lampard's Derby County. They only won 5 times before the new year. They were banging trouble. It's given away cheaply. This is Ollie East slipping it through. That's a really good goal. But again, because it's been given, gifts aplenty at the match stand today. This pre-season friendly is very friendly from a defensive point of view. It's 4-3 to Chelsea. Sam pulled up, Michael Elise combining.
Well, he's impressed me. It's a beautifully weighted pass. You know, so often you can get those passes wrong, you overhit it, but from our point of view, Ben, again, Frank will be scratching his head there about how easily, you know, and led to from our own errors.
Right, try and keep up. We've had 7 goals, we could have had 17. And Jorginho didn't like that challenge coming in.
Rather rash, wasn't it?
There's one going both ways, to be fair. The one coming in pretty quickly after from Ryan East wasn't that great, by the way, but anyway. Batshuayi to listen out. Pedro, there was a little shadow of man on. They still kept it nicely, and that's the right idea. Tammy trying to lay it off from Michy Batshuayi. Sam balled up, trying to run that channel. David Luiz knew exactly what he was doing. That was very calmly done. Some defending.
You do get these results from time to time in pre-season. It's not uncommon. But from our point of view, I think Frank will be looking at this, I'm sure. Room for improvement.
Pedro in the sunshine, fires it into Batshuayi. Tried to take it on the turn to give him the swivel option. Didn't get it. Walker. Well, another slightly dodgy clearance from Sam Walker.
I don't quite know what the referee's given here. Is it handball?
I thought he'd get Tammy on the head. Done by Kovacic. Batshuayi chases his own ball via a dummy. Might not have been meant to happen. Men going to mow at the moment, and they're watching Azpilicueta's come down the right. Mason Mount offer himself. Nice take, nice turn.
It's been everywhere second half, Mason Mount, hasn't it?
Here's Pedro. Chelsea look for number 5. Heard a new song they've made up for Mason Mount there. Sounded like it. Jorginho up to Emerson. Italian internationals trying to link up, not quite. Chelsea's lead has been cut in half. He really has been a very busy boy this pre-season in general, and indeed in this half. But you don't want to get too excited. Just as when we saw Callum and Ruben coming onto the scene, you don't want to overdo it. It is only pre-season. Yes, he's had a good year in the Championship. Fans player of the year out of Vitesse. Everything points to positivity, but you've got to try and keep a lid on it to some degree, haven't you? Otherwise people go a little bit too far.
Absolutely. There's plenty of years ahead of him.
He's had a senior England call-up, one.
He has.
It's not just Chelsea that rate him, let's be honest. Here he is. There you go. See, he's rubbish. Charlie Adams has always been a good passer, but that one he's overhit for Novakovic, and it'll be through for Jamie Cumming.
You can see what's going through Mason Mount's mind, can't you? On that occasion, it didn't come off. But he's been everywhere. I mean, Pedro's out on the left now. He's playing that number 10 role now. He's far more central. That's nice.
It was. Charging through. Tammy Abraham. Spilicueta joining in. And that'll be a corner.
There we go. This is the best we played this second half now. With slowly but surely, a little bit like the first half. Then it took us a while to get going. Mount again on set pieces.
Gone deep with this one, and that's Tammy Abraham, and delayed reaction as time stands still in the middle, and it's shoveled wide by Walker. May have been going there anyway. Strange lack of reaction from players in both persuasions here. Mishi couldn't quite get it.
I'm not convinced it was going in.
I know, I think it was going wide.
He was taking no chances, maybe.
Another corner. It's deep again. So what I'm thinking here, Jason, is Mount, Barkley, standout performers arguably in pre-season.
Well,
how do you get them both in the team if it's not a double? Or can't you? Would you say, Mason, you have to play a bit wider like this? Or, you know what I mean?
Well, there isn't a natural answer to that question.
In your mind, you think it's Jorginho and Conte as two, behind three, behind one?
Probably. That's the way I see it.
In which case, there's a number 10. Maybe that's Ross. Maybe Mason has to take one of the wider roles. But right now, I'm feeling like you want to get both in your team. If there's a game tomorrow, you want them both in it.
Yes, and he played there, didn't he? Of course, against Kawasaki. He before Pulisic came on, his second half, he moved over to that left-hand side when Ross came off the bench.
Just picking up this position left of centre here. He's got Emerson with him. Kovacic will always back himself on the ball in any of these.
Good first touch that from Michy Batshuayi.
Wasn't that good?
Done really well. That's good. That's what you want. It's got to stick.
And he's got it back to a lovely cushion ball. I love the idea of that. Pedro so nearly onto it. It's a tough pass and he's nearly pulled it off.
Seeing more and more of the front two now, aren't we, as this second half progresses. It took a while. First 10 minutes didn't see him at all.
Mount's overhit that. Emerson has done well to keep it in. Watson goes to join him. Emerson's cross, put behind by Morrison.
Mason Mount has been absolutely everywhere this second half then. Again, he's popping up in little areas that he's on the left, he's on the right, he's in the middle.
Drilled corner. David Luiz round the back. He's always going to bring it down nicely. Lofts it back in there. Sam Walker is a good 6'5" plus the arms. He would always favour him with that. He's looking for a release long. Kovacic, who will scamper all day. Make sure that goes to safety.
It's asking a lot, that, isn't it? Even if he brings it down, this he's 30 yards on his own.
Is that song called Feeling Hot? Hot. Do you want to sing it for Mason Mount?
Yes.
I'm not going to sing it. Is that what the name? I don't know who
it's the
it's
right song, right?
Yes. They're doing it for Mason Mount now. He's got a song. Well, we've had a few minutes without a goal. Shocking stuff. Pedro deep. Emerson here, getting regular games as an Italy international now. Emerson did so at the end of the campaign as well, starting to with Jorginho in the Azzurri team. Where do you stand on that? Emerson versus Alonso right now?
If the game was tomorrow, I'd play Emerson. He had a tricky year last year, Alonso. It's fair to say.
It's one of those could go either way calls, isn't it? I don't think it's landslide in one favour. It's pretty close either way. I mean, Alonso played first half here, Emerson the second. I think.
Yeah, I'd go along with that.
I think balance. I think you'd probably concur with that, fans, and we'll see if Mr. Lampard does as well. Emerson just started getting the shirt towards the end of the season, and then the games you thought he might start, then Alonso came back in. It wasn't abundantly clear who Sarri actually favoured, to be honest. Well, we hope there will be enough games for everyone to get plenty, with good runs and good competitions again, with 59 matches across the piece last term. Yeah. Full-length European run, of course, including a last 32. Back in the even bigger competition this term, of course, with Chelsea in pot 1. So I'm not sure if people are all aware of that, but as
that's right,
Europa League winners, you get the pot 1, which is normally reserved only for the champions of the major nations, and indeed the winners of the trophy. So a lot of English interest in that pot. Adam firing it through. Charlie Adam leaving Stoke after a long stint there. David Luiz out to Emerson again.
Pedro's just dropped deeper there, trying to pick up that ball so he can get something going. See if he can link up Tammy and Nishi. I've seen flashes of it. I'd like to see that ball go into one of our front men there when Azpilicueta's got the ball. As he's come off that right hand side, he's got options in front of him.
On a hat-trick, Mason Mount goes for goal, and it was there to be hit.
Yeah, doesn't it? Gets it all wrong, doesn't it? But just going back to that point I was making there, when you've got two up top, I'd like to see if we can try and get it into their feet quicker. Pretty sure Michy Batshuayi can't be standing in there. He's in the box, and the defenders can. But then Kurt Zouma there, David was getting into a bit of a scrap.
Defensive players in the box, that's something new for this season, and so too the attacking players allowed to be getting in and amongst the wall. Funnily enough, I was looking at it on the Ross Barkley free kick, and there was a little two-man Chelsea wall off to the side, but they can't go and get involved in whatever barrier Reading have put up. It's Kovacic. There's been a good noise inside this ground all game long. It's just got a bit quieter.
Yes, it has. Good strength there from Tammy.
That ball did go into that front two there, Jace, from Aspie, just like you wanted to see.
Yeah, like that's when you've got two. That's how you can. You've got to start to try look to get them. The higher up the pitch you are, the closer obviously the goal you are. But see if they can link up. I'm looking for Michy and Tammy to see if they can have some sort of link-up play. It's difficult when you come off the bench and trying to get used to the pace of the game. It did take a while, didn't it, for us to get up to some sort of speed and some sort of cohesion. Good pressure from Mount, though. Well done, Kurt Zouma. Just keeps it in.
He knew what he was doing, Jamie Cumming. Fifth game out of 7. Next 2 also live via the app, don't forget that. Not as far afield as Japan, but further afield than Reading, that's for sure, not just down the M4. Austria and Germany to come. Gladbach on next Saturday, when Reading will be playing here against Sheffield Wednesday as the gruelling championship campaign kicks off again. Here's Emerson. Chelsea nick one more just to make sure of the victory. We'll just be happy to see the right patterns and shapes and intent.
That ball can come in. Can we get that ball in the box? We've got two strikers in there.
And they both keep moving in and out, trying to give themselves some momentum. Aspilicueta has done well to keep that in. Batshuayi, tight angle, needs some help. His captain is there. Just trying to shift it infield from Mount. Novakovic with a neat little touch and a blatant pull from David Luiz, who was well beaten by Sam Baldock there.
That would have been a booking on match day, that's for sure.
Why isn't it a booking now? I can't believe it's not.
It's blatant, isn't it?
You do still get yellow and red cards, as we've seen this pre-season. Some pretty nasty things going on elsewhere. Diego Costa for a start, and someone in that Liverpool game the other day, I saw him apologising, absolutely hacked some Liverpool kid over. 4 minutes plus stoppage time here. David Luiz, apparently you can get away with anything.
From Tammy, lovely little flick. He's done well here.
Shooting chance. Shoot, say the Chelsea fans. And he obliges Mateo Kovacic. 55 appearances as a Blue in competitive play. Still to find the net. It'll come. I feel like there's a lot more to come from him. I don't think he always got a fair crack at it last season, and I mean that from perhaps a supporter perspective. He wasn't necessarily the right fit for what that Chelsea midfield needed. He could be now. David Luiz comes flying in. Tammy Abraham gets right underneath it. It's looping down a staircase away to our right, and then bounces back to a steward. And the 4-3 lead stays for now.
Gets his first touch right. Bounces up quite quickly. And the onrushing Charlie Adam, I think, perhaps has forced him to rush his shot. Gets it all wrong in the end. Pedro, just see the players, the Chelsea players are encroaching in the box. The new law is that defending players can go into the box for a goal kick, but not the attackers. Good pressure from Tammy, he's caused the error. It's a lovely pass from Mount. What a wonderful brilliant pass.
Ball into Batshuayi from Mason Mount. Pedro helps it on. There's Kovacic again, and via a deflection it's a corner.
What a pass that is from Mount. First time, just fizzes it in. Stephen Gerrard used to do that. You know, it tests your touch, fizzes it into him. Lovely control as well though from Mishi.
It's a pretty small gap to hit that pass through as well. So very little margin of error, and he nailed it. You know, what can you say? Man United is 2 weeks today. Right now, you want Mason Mount in that team somehow. You want Ross Barkley in that team somehow, and make the rest fit around it.
Yes, you do. Well, a diamond is the obvious choice, isn't it?
Well, they're the two that are making things happen. With the greatest of respect to him, he's a fine player. You know, this pre-season, Pedro's been there from the start. He hasn't shown us that. Willian is nowhere near ready yet. Pulisic has shown us some flashes. Must be a way to work them both into it, because they are the two players making things happen for Chelsea this pre-season. There's no doubt about it. Emerson trying to do it now, and with a bit of help from Kovacic, maybe he can. Jorginho, nicely done. Mount again, and Tammy Abraham toe pokes that wide.
Yeah, it's behind him, wasn't it? Took it to run into that. Mason Mount's ball just perhaps wasn't what he was looking for there, but very difficult for Tammy to bring that down. Yeah, there's a number of imponderables, isn't there, about what he's going to do. Shape is the first one. space out the left here. If Kovacic can get his head up, and he's gone right. Can he get the ball in the box? It's lovely.
Mount spreads it nicely. Emerson, Pedro holds his run, he's onside. Reading have the numbers back. Pedro curls for goal. Shake hands, Walker this time. As the final whistle goes, that was a good afternoon's entertainment. Lots of attacking, lots of chances, 7 goals. And Mason Mount to the fore in the M&M second half after Michael Morrison had made it 2-2. Frank Lampard will have been very impressed, I'm sure, first half with the showing of Ross Barkley as well. The final score at the Madstad with 2 weeks to go until the start of the new Premier League campaign. Reading 3, Chelsea 4. Well, Jason, lots to enjoy about that. Not necessarily all the defending, but let's ask that question again. What's Frank seen there that maybe he hadn't seen or wanted to see more of?
Well, certainly from set pieces defensively, there's room for improvement on that, no doubt about it. I think Frank will look at the goals. I think going forward, you can look at the 2 front men today. If he goes with